Hey guys, this is Jackie and Blake at Johnson Livingston. A lot of people are going back to school, and so we thought it'd be a really good time to talk about pedestrian safety with all the kids heading back to school.
Yeah, this is a topic that is kind of near and dear to us, mainly because it's becoming a big problem. Earlier this year, back in February, I think, the New York Times actually put an article out that talked about the nationwide pedestrian crashes and pedestrian deaths are on the rise. And in fact, it specifically cited Utah and said that Utah last year had its deadliest year for pedestrians since the turn of the century. And this right here, I printed this off this morning. This is from Zero Fatalities. It's a Utah organization that's trying to obviously get the goal to zero fatalities. So the alarming thing about these statistics for Utah is when you look at it, the trend is going up. There was a slight dip right here when COVID happened, and that's obvious because people weren't on the roads as much. And then we followed up right after it with the highest number we've ever had. Right now, so in 2021, we had 45 pedestrians who were killed. In 2022, obviously we're not through the year yet, but we're already at 33. So these are pretty alarming trends that we're seeing.
Super alarming.
And the article went into some of the reasons for why this is happening. And a couple of those reasons are, first and foremost, drivers are more distracted.
I feel like every time we turn on the news, there's a new article about somebody who's not paying attention, who's speeding, which we all know has been a massive problem in Utah that they're trying to crack down on. But with pedestrians, I mean, they're everywhere. And it seems like no one, what, do they just not realize that? So distraction is one of them. What's another one?
So distraction, another thing that they say is that a lot of new cars coming out have these built-in safety features, lane assist, it senses cross traffic. And so it's giving people a false sense of security, false sense of safety, where if they're not getting an alarm or they're not getting, buzzed, then they don't have to be paying attention, or they don't have to be on the lookout for other hazards such as pedestrians.
Just as early as last week, somebody was hit by a vehicle, self-driving vehicle. They were rear-ended on the freeway, and it was a fatality because people trust technology too much.
So what we're asking is to go back to the basics and say, you know what, don't rely on the car, don't rely on anything, rely on your senses. As a driver, you've got to stay vigilant, you've got to look out for those warning signs or clues that there might be pedestrians or other hazards around. Obviously, common sense ones are school zones, construction zones. You'd expect pedestrians to be there. But the crosswalks themselves, those are warning signs. Like, those are clues to us that, hey, there might be pedestrians here. From the pedestrian standpoint, that pedestrians aren't off the hook either. There's certain things that pedestrians can do to obviously mitigate the risk or keep themselves from being harmed. Following your traffic laws, crossing only at crosswalks, waiting for the right of way or the walk symbol, and then of course just paying attention, being vigilant, making sure that it's safe to go when you do go. So with everything going on, we're hoping that everyone can pay more attention to this and we can start turning these numbers the right way and getting them closer to zero, because I don't know, that just is kind of shocking to me that as our technology is advancing, so are our crashes. And not only for pedestrians, but the other thing is in Utah, we had the highest number of vehicle crashes as well as fatalities from crashes too.
Well, and with school starting, we need to slow down and we need to pay more attention. I mean, with technology supposedly getting better and people feeling safer, I don't know if you guys heard, but Salt Lake is reducing the speed limit in neighborhoods this month from 25 miles per hour to 20, just to try and make it safer for everybody.
Yep. Yeah, that's a great point. From a driver perspective, they talk about, and we've heard all those signs, the campaign, speed kills. Well, it does. And the reason why is because obviously if a car going faster hits another car or a pedestrian, there's going to be more damage and more injury. But the other side of that is if you are going, think of it this way, if you're going 20 miles an hour versus 10 miles an hour, that difference gives you twice the amount of time to see pedestrians. So slow down, be more vigilant, and give yourself time to not only see pedestrians and hazards out there, but time to react to them.
The reaction is so important because even if you're going slow, you're in a car, and a car versus a human body there's no competition there, and nobody. I mean, in the work that we do, nobody wants to get that call. No one wants to get the call that somebody's been hurt and hit by a car. And so please be safe. Please be safe with school starting, and teach your kids different safety techniques.
Yep.